Alright, what is this? The Game Awards situation! Oh god, that's how much attention it got. What is this?
Last night was the Game Awards, and there was a stat that chat was regurgitating that I didn't believe. I thought it was so outlandish they must have escaped from a mental institution and were spewing a bunch of mumbo-jumbo until I checked and verified the authenticity.
What?
The claim was that last year's Game Awards had higher viewership than the Super Bowl. And I said, well, that's a bunch of fiddlesticks, no way. Super Bowl had like 120-something million viewers. It was like the most...
Yeah, 120 million's insane. Yeah, and it's mostly on TV, too.
...watched Super Bowl ever. No way the Game Awards beat that. Turns out it did. Jeff Keighley hung his hog on the Super Bowl numbers.
Holy crap! The Super Bowl 120 and the Game Awards 154 million? Oh my god, the VMA. Oh my god, look at all these other ones that you can't see it. Hold on. Look at this. People care more about games than this dog-ass shit. Damn! And by the way, the Super Bowl is like only for like Americans pretty much. Yeah, Americans care about it a lot, but nobody else really does.
154 million global viewers. Now, Super Bowl is an event that mainly only Americans care about. I get that. Game Awards is international. But even still, those numbers blew my fucking mind, blew my ass out. So, it is like a super big deal.
Yeah,
and I watch the Game Awards every year, but had no idea it was this
it's
big.
An international
and now that
moment.
I have this knowledge locked away in the old steel trap up here,
yeah,
it makes the Game Awards final reveal from last night even more odd, just peculiar. Because it is a blunder. That is the most important final reveal. And last night, boy howdy did that one fall flat.
They're gonna start running a ton of ads during the Game Awards shows. Do you not realize that the Game Awards show is a big giant ad? Come on, man. You're smarter than that. Like, think about it. It's an ad for the new games. They pay a lot of money to like have it advertised, you dummy.
Unfortunately. And I know a lot of people have criticized Jeff Keighley, like playfully teasing about how he'll overhype things that don't warrant that level of glaze or, you know, anticipation, where Jeff Keighley will sometimes, you know, get you like biting your nails like, holy shit, what's he about to reveal? Because he's hyping it up so much. Like, in my numerous decades in the industry, I've never been this excited. This is my honor, my privilege. This is the apotheosis of gaming. I present to you the world premiere for the Poop That Took a Pee 2.
The Poop That Took a Pee. Isn't that from South Park? What the hell? Honestly, that's probably better than most games that AAA releases at this point. Poop That Took a Pee 2 is awesome.
As he's starting to get like tears in his eyes for it. And it's like, well,
tears in his eyes.
I think you oversold this one a bit, to be honest with you.
No.
Though,
Jeff is
one
a great
that people
glazer.
point to is from last year where he revealed Okami.
If I ever wanted someone to deliver really bad news, I would probably want to have Jeff do it because he would hype it up and like make it sound like it's a really good idea or like a good thing.
I do not think that's a good example of that, because that is not overhyped. That genuinely is extremely exciting. I fucking love Okami and cannot wait for the new Okami.
Okami is cute. I saw Silver playing it a while ago.
But he does have a history of doing that occasionally, and last night was one of those examples for the final reveal.
Our final world premiere comes from 61 members of the team that built Apex Legends and Titanfall.
Ooh,
4 years ago,
what?
the principals founded a new independent studio with the hopes of pushing the shooter genre forward with a new original game.
If that doesn't put a boner in your trousers, nothing will.
That wording makes it sound like it's the most hype thing ever. New? Pushing shooters forward?
You cannot have a more hype introduction than that right there.
Yeah.
Those sentences alone could make the Grinch's heart grow 3 sizes. And when I was watching this live, I actually thought for a moment we might be seeing a Titanfall 3 or at the very least a spiritual successor to Titanfall. But that's where they get you. Jeff's got you eating out of the palm of his hands right now. You're hook, line, and sinker buying into this delusion. Like, I have said for a long time, we will probably not see a Titanfall 3.
No,
Unfortunately, I think EA is going to kegel on that property forever and never use it for anything ever again.
EA does this with so many other franchises. They're just gonna keep it forever, yeah.
because they didn't perform financially well for them.
It's not worth the investment, according to them.
These games are beloved, I don't think we'll ever see a new entry into this franchise. But I really was starting to buy into the fantasy here, because he's mentioning that a lot of people responsible for those masterpieces have broken off and are now pursuing something new together. And you're expecting, like, maybe it's in a similar vein to Titanfall. You know, Professor Utonium's in the lab and he's putting together all the ingredients of the perfect little shooter. But that wasn't what was on the menu. Instead, what was served up on the plate was a seemingly standard hero shooter. Now, I always have a great time watching the Game Awards. This year, I also had a lot of fun watching
maybe I'll watch it next year.
I just really don't understand why they would save this game.
This is exactly why I don't watch stuff, because I just, like, it feels like such a letdown, and I get kind of irritated. And I don't want to ruin everybody's time. I'm very critical and kind of bitchy, almost. I'll just be like, man, and everyone's like, oh, Pog, and I'll be like,
As their final reveal,
I don't know, maybe I'll watch it next year, I'm not sure.
Always the most important reveal, because it's the one that
Concord
sticks with the viewers the longest, and it's usually reserved for the one that's gonna fucking have them, you know, gushing grannies. And having a generic hero shooter be in that place feels really odd, and a lot of people have been kind of clowning on it for it.
Apex Legends and Titanfall. Whoa. Wow, this looks very generic.
Bring in the heat.
Yeah, looks like kind of like Concord and kind of like Baldur a little bit with the
light belongs to me. Forming.
One thing that stands out to me is that none of the characters look like stand out from one another. Yeah, it's just. Oh, yeah, that kind of looks like Valo or Apex. Yeah, I can see that.
It's not the most exciting looking game. It's not going to put you on the edge of your seat there, and it does give me a similar vibe to Concord when that was revealed.
Did you guys hear
unfortunately,
that? Am I crazy?
And a lot of people have.
Did you hear that?
Going to put you on the edge of your seat there, and.
Oh my god, I thought that was me. I was like, did I just crash? I actually thought I crashed, and my eyes were, and I checked my OBS, and I was like, oh, I'm still up. Okay, that's good. It was Charlie. Yeah, chat, it was false alarm. Sorry, I actually got scared for a moment.
It does give me a similar vibe to Concord when that was revealed.
I don't think it's as bad as Concord, but it's just really mediocre in my opinion.
Calling this Concord 2, even though the game's not out or anything yet, it does kind of have a lot of similar DNA to it from the look of the gameplay here. And it just feels like a game that shouldn't have been saved for last as like the big oorah. This should have just been a game that they showed.
Oh, it was the last thing they showed? I think they shouldn't have worded it so hypely. I feel like a lot of people are pissed about that. That's why people are even talking about it in the first place. They genuinely expected a Titanfall 3. Because to me, he's like, it is my pleasure. Oh my god, look at all these game devs.
Somewhere in the middle or towards the beginning where it's like, hey, this game's also right around the corner if you want another hero shooter. Like if you're really salivating for more hero shooter action.
I feel like from a business perspective, like, yeah, you're not gonna... How do I say it? I feel like a lot of the shit was at the start. When I was looking through a little bit of the VOD, a lot of the good stuff was, like, at the start. And I think that's the whole point, isn't it? You kind of, like, push everything forward that's, like, insane and amazing, and then... at the end, you kind of just do whatever. I just think they made a mistake in overhyping it. I don't think people would have cared if they just kind of like said, oh, here's a new hero shooter. People would have been like, it's okay.
Comes High Guard. Like that makes sense. It just doesn't really compute why they would have this be the final reveal. I think what would have fit here best was the Star Wars KOTOR game. They have a new KOTOR coming out called Fate of the Old Republic, and that was extremely super hype for people. I think if they had saved Fate of the Old Republic for the final reveal, that would have been a big pop-off moment. Because that is something that a ton of people, myself included, cannot wait for. And now I need to go back and replay KOTOR 1 and 2 because it is so cool. That is something people have really wanted. Whereas with Highguard, I feel like there's more people asking for the common cold than more hero shooters. And especially from such a talented team that have put together games like Titanfall, you would hope that they'd spread their wings a bit more than just like a hero shooter game. So it's just one of those things that is
You're never gonna get a Titanfall,
for a final game reveal. Anyway, though, I had a great time watching the Game Awards. As I do every year, it's become a tradition, and I always think Jeff Keighley and his team put on a really impressive and really entertaining show, and I really appreciate all the hard work that goes into it.
There's a lot of fluff
though
in
I will
there
say,
that
I think
don't
this
care
year
for,
there is a lesson to be learned in the amount of nominations a game can get. With the E33 sweep, I do think there maybe needs to be some kind of limitations in place. I said from the second the credits rolled on that game that it was special, and it is in my top 20 favorite games of all time. I think it is a full-blown, full fucking chub
I gotta play it, man. I gotta.
That being said, I don't think it should be in every category that it was in, even if it could fit into that category. Like the most contentious is the indie game category. While yes, it is by definition an indie game, I do feel like it shouldn't be there to give room to other games to shine in that category. Like, it is an unbelievable...
If it didn't win any other awards, it should have won indie game, but because it won a bunch of awards, I think his argument is that it shouldn't be an indie game. Yeah, 9 awards,
game.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And by being as good as it is, and in every category that it was present, it drowned out a lot of other extremely impressive games from this year. 2025 was genuinely an amazing year for games. There were so many super slappers, absolute bangers out the wazoo, but if you only watched the Game Awards, you would think that it was just Expedition 33, really. And that's a shame. I do think E33 deserves like the Game of the Year win and many of its other wins, because I do think that does epitomize what the games industry should be about. A team of passionate creators that all banded together under very unlikely circumstances with a very wild way of assembling this team of creatives.
Oh yeah, they found a guy on SoundCloud that made the soundtrack, and then the writers were from Reddit and shit, and that's how they weaved the story together. Yeah, it's great.
To create something that's
I wish they would do that
really
more
not
often.
been done before to the degree in which they did it with the budget that they had, apparently less than $10 million. It is an unreal story, and the person at the head of Sandfall, he is like a gamer's gamer. That guy, I've watched a couple of his interviews.
More of that.
He is always singing.
We need to stop bringing in corpos that don't play video games. I'm honestly of the opinion, if there could be like a trial by fire kind of thing, where they make a person that owns a large majority of the video game that they like have, right? If they don't play the game, you don't know what you're talking about, you're not allowed, man. I just feel like you have to enjoy the game or like be at least relatively decent at it or understand it in depth. I miss it about video games that were technically AAA even back in the day, like Activision Blizzard and Activision in general, where they actually did have people that understood the technical parts of making a video game, and that's why they didn't have like a lot of unsuccessful games at the time.
Praises of the goats that have came before him, and he's not just doing lip service. He knows his shit. Like, this is a guy who lives and breathes this medium that
He's really
wanted to
Devil
do
May Cry
something
in Final Fantasy.
truly
That's
special
sick.
in it, and I think they succeeded. And it's great to see the reception be as positive as it is to their art. I'm very happy for that team, and I think it deserves all of the glaze that it gets. But when it comes to the Game Awards, I just think it would have been best if it was reserved for, a handful of the categories that it was nominated in. And I also think that would have been better for Expedition 33 overall as well, because when people who aren't overly...
People were really, really salty, and Kingdom Come Deliverance, like the community manager, was really salty that they didn't win Best RPG. Yeah, I can't say if Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was really good. I heard they had a decent bit of criticism, but like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a little bit in poor taste to be like salty.
Be familiar with it, see it keep
Unless
winning
it's a joke.
everything.
I don't know. I saw that.
I was tired of it. It makes them soured on E33 as a whole. I saw a comparison drawn by a lot of people about like the Patriots when they were on their dynasty run winning everything. People fucking hated the Patriots because they were so good. It's Expedition 33 is having a similar phenomenon. It won so much, people now just hate it by default. Like, they don't want to engage with it anymore. They'd rather spit and shit on it. And
blame the French? No, they actually insinuated and said that the Game Awards were rigged. I'm not talking about the joke. I know what you're talking about. It's a screenshot of like dialogue options, and there was like what is it called? It was just like blame the French, which I think is funny. But there was like a private, well, not private, but there was a post on Twitter about, or it came from the community manager from Kingdom Come Deliverance, and they said like, yeah, they rigged it, and I was like, that's not a joke. I think you're just saying things.
Kind of thing. I just overall feel like less is more in this case, where it'd be in its strongest categories, like voice acting, narrative, music, and game of the year, that kind of thing, as opposed to like 13 categories, because it is a lot, and it does.
Baldur's Gate 3 was shit too. You're allowed to have a dog shit opinion, it's fine. You just want guns and balls in your video games. This guy literally typed, nah, it fails to pull me in, I'll never play it. Turn-based gay with pedals. Wow. Jesus Christ, man. Save some misery for the rest of us. Does anything make you happy? Do you want to go play FIFA and have that win Game of the Year? Whack that guy? No, we're not gonna. We're not gonna ban people for having the wrong opinion. It's okay. It's all right. Maybe next time Gun and Ball 3 will win, and then you can be happy.
Unfortunately push out some of the other extremely good games from the year. Like Kingdom Come 2 didn't win anything, when I feel like, by all definitions, it should have won Best RPG of the Year. It's just, I love Expedition 33, and I'm super happy to see it do so well. But for the awards here, I would really have liked to be able to celebrate some of the other great games that also came out this year.
Yeah. I do think that, like, it does overshadow it, and it does make other people salty. And again, that's not Expedition 33's fault. Just by the way, it's not their fault. That's the Gamer Awards' fault. Yeah, honestly, if you want to save face, they should have, like, at least had it, like, a little bit more, evenly spread.
Like I said, this was an extraordinary year for banger titles releasing, especially in the indie category.
Yeah, I'll look at it.
So many good indie games came out this year. But anyway, I'll stop yapping about it. That's really about it. See ya.
Check the tweet. Yes, I know. I was literally just letting Charlie finish. Yes, someone said, I still loathe Jeff Keighley for this stuff last year. What did he say?
Very special announcement to share with you. This year, the stars aligned for some very magical things to happen at our anniversary show. Things that might not have ever seemed a possibility. If you truly love video games like I do, this moment is for all of us. Very special announcement to share with you.
And so they're really... Is this more to your liking? Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people are mauling the fuck out, and they're like, game has to have gun and ball, none of that gay shit that, like, other video game studios do. Like, we need some real man games to win Game of the Year. I should play Okami, man. I saw Silverveil play it. It was really cute. GT Okami, yeah. I want ball and game to win. Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, I should play it. It's cute. Okami's so good. Okay, well, if Tammy said it's good, it's a goated then. Yeah, that's cute. Whoever owns the, does the, what is it called? The social media management, that's funny. You're a funny guy. I like that.